a lot of different European opponents, so it's perfectly suited to them. But I believe we're live in the pistol, so we've got FaZe picking up the CT side of things, which bodes well for my prediction. They clearly won that knife, as no team would willingly go on the T side of Inferno first up once they won the knife. But AZ is going to control this banana push, which is pretty aggressive here, and Dupree actually opens up onto Rain quite nicely there to start this one off well for Astralis. And now they're stuck in a 4 versus 5 to hold on to this CT pistol.
Yeah, fantastic start here to the match on the terrace side for Astralis. They've actually caused that rotation. You can see both Michael and his teammate, they're locking down the B site, so putting a lot of pressure here on Jacob and co in the A bomb site to really hold off what is normally a 3-man side at the very least. So it looks as though as that smoke gets laid down, it's not really a sign of what's to come because the bomb's still so far back, but Astralis looking really strong here. It's just a matter of perhaps grouping up and executing as one.
Yeah, it's always difficult to pick the winners of pistol rounds. Those USPs are so powerful at medium to long range. So one player on CT can take down multiple opponents if the timing and the lines are correct. So even though the pick goes to Astralis, having 2 players at each bomb site holding this one down is still a feasible tactic here for FaZe. And right now, Astralis are about to group up and hit this B bomb site.
That's right, we'll be watching Lele perhaps expecting a flash at his back turn, but now he does turn to face the music as they do come swarming into the B site. Now, good use of the smoke there, actually blocked off his vision there. He's forced to rotate through the connector. AZ, meanwhile, is doing his best to take them down, and he used all his 12 bullets just to connect onto one there, but good work by FaZe. They have managed to find 2, making a 3rd kill there as the T's have entered the side, and whilst Michael Lele does go down, it is still a 2-on-2. All hope is not lost for FaZe.
Yeah, and we see Jacob and Fox having to retake this one, 2 versus 2. Carrigan pops out into CT spawn. They're hearing Jacob move towards the coils, and Jacob's going to push around and try and find Carrigan. He can't do it. Nice round there from Astralis, setting the pace early with that first frag and then cashing in late in the round.
They did. I mean, fantastic start. But what I will say, actually, is the fact that FaZe were actually in a really good position to win that round in the sense that when the attack came in at B, they had 2 CTs there. They actually had that gamble that we spoke about where they rotated Michael back from A to B, and they stuck with that despite, I guess, the peace and quiet that ensued for about the next 30 to 40 seconds after that first frag. They gambled, it paid off. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite get the job done. Yeah,
just a great piece of play there from Astralis. But now we have a force buy here from FaZe, and it's often seen on the CT side of Inferno because the pistols are so powerful at that close to medium range. So nothing too surprising here from FaZe as we see 1 Deagle, a couple of 5.7s and a CZ. Fox, of course, just grabbing that USP in hopes of getting an AWP sooner rather than later. And now Cajun will open up onto Fox, and an opportunity there for Rain to double up as he was shooting 2 opponents in the back. But unfortunately, those shots didn't land, and now Astralis with a 2-man advantage will just slow this one right down and make their way into that A bomb site, get the plant, and cruise on through to their 2nd round win.
Yeah, they're looking really strong in this situation. The spawn will get planted now. You can see that the intent from FaZe, whilst they did invest into that round, they actually kept themselves, as AZ does take a few bullets to the chest, finishes the job onto Device. Whilst they did invest, only having pistols, they actually, instead of stacking a sight, they kept that almost gun round-esque approach where they had 5 members split up across the map, backing themselves with the strength of the pistols and their incredible talent within the team to win those duels. Now, ultimately it didn't work out for them this round, but it's a strategy that's commonly, I guess, adopted by really, really strong teams. You're Envious as an example, and I like the mentality, couldn't quite make it work.
No, that's fine, and they're going to have to make it work sooner or later with their aim, but at the moment just a bit outgunned there by the Astralis players. Now, AZ, interestingly enough, has that CZ in hand, has also managed to acquire himself a UMP, so 4 players once again from FaZe will have viable weapons as he'll either choose to drop that CZ, and you can see that one's dropped down onto Rain.
Who do you choose to drop it to in that instance? You're looking at your teammate, you know we try and pick out the best possible teammate, and it's almost a popularity contest. Well, Rain, Jacob, Fox, Makalele.
Well, I mean, I guess Rain's going to be better with a pistol than Fox, and since Jacob and Makalele already had the pistols, that narrows it down in that sense, but you're spot on. If you were to drop a rifle in that sense, who would you give it to? As Device makes his way up the banana side of things. And Jacob will open up nicely there onto Device, but the pressure will continue on the banana side of things. Carrigan taking down Jacob now. Obviously, Astralis just slowing it down ever so slightly to make sure they don't get caught off guard by anything here, and that roof gets Molotoved. That won't do any good for anyone, but Dupree still just edging his way in here, and AZ could have an advantage here, but he'll need to be pretty quick smart about that first kill. It takes a little bit too long, but Fox jumps into that side, gets one, but now it's a 2 versus 2, and Astralis still well in control of this this round.
Most certainly, the bomb will go down, but you can't help but to feel that FaZe will actually go for this retake. They've got nothing to lose. They don't really particularly want to use these pistols next round. They will invest with rifles, so you can see them actually moving their way through the connector at the moment. And I think with the advantage of the longer bomb timer, they can still walk. There's no rush at the moment, trying to perhaps catch them off guard. It will be Rain with the first exchange, or perhaps Michael They swap places. Michael taking a bit of damage, but crucially spotting out that one member behind the fountain. But Cajun, well under control, takes down Rain in that instance. And you can see Michael limited HP. Forced to back off in this instance, perhaps trying to save the fight for another day, but it's not going to work out for him. What I do like, though, from Astralis, even though it's only been 3 rounds so far, 2 of which have been anti-ecos, I like the fact that they're taking control of Banana. Yep. That's often a really important part of a terrorist gameplay and strategy on this map, because it's not a very large map, and I think if you can force the CTs to play very passive in B and cause that rotation so that they keep 2 in B the entire round, it gives you a lot more options and a lot easier to mess with the minds of the CTs.
Yeah, definitely, and of course on the CT side of things, keeping that banana control is so important. We see every dominant CT side take early banana control and then hold on to it for the entire round, and those grenades are going to be slightly misplaced there, a little too far to the left, and a lot of that damage will be soaked up by the fact that grenades just have to be dead on you to do damage in CSGO.
That gives a lot of information, though, to the terrorists there. They obviously saw where both of those nades came from. They're really aware of, I guess, the understanding of the game, so they know there's 2 places at the back of the site. They know Banana should be clear here, but they're actually moving up towards A.
Yeah, Fox there, spotting one out in second mid and taking a shot. Not connecting, but nevertheless, the T's will be aware, at least of his position at the top right-hand side of mid, and he gets flashed and Molotov'd out of his little foxhole there, and he'll be forced back into the CT spawn arch. And now the Astralis team tries to make their way up mid, maybe put a little bit of pressure on the jungle side of things, but Fox is waiting eagerly there for Dupree to just poke his head around the corner, but he spotted out his little waist utility belt, and now it will be brilliant grenade work here by Astralis as they make their way up the jungle side and wrap towards this A bomb site. But look at that, Fox completely trapped out, and that's AZ. Fox has made his way back defensively into spawn, but Rain will take out Carrigan before he's traded out by Dupree. And kill by kill, this is looking worse and worse for FaZe as Astralis tactically pick them to pieces one by one, just narrowing down those angles and doing what needs to be done teamwork-wise. Now FaZe is going to rely on Jacob here to make this one work, but Cajun B is a long way from home here, a long way from the bomb, but he's in great position to stop the save.
Yeah, I think he recognises the fact that Jacob was most likely going to save in that instance in a 1-on-3 with his position known, obviously firing those bullets at Cajun. So Cajun B instead repositioning himself behind at the bottom of second mid in case he did decide to back off and try and save that gun.
Yeah, but such a risk. Device on 6 HP and Dupree on 10. If he had those 2 players had gone down in quick succession, the only player left with any sort of capabilities would have been a long way from home. But as it stands, we can talk about what would have happened all we like. What actually happened was Astralis picked up 10k there coming in from Cajun B, actually shooting Dupree. A little too itchy on the trigger finger there, but never mind. 4-0 to Astralis and a fantastic start as FaZe will be on the eco.
I love that execute onto the A bomb site. You can see clearly that that's the sort of structure that Carrigan has implemented in the team as an in-game leader. He's renowned for actually being one of the best fragging in-game leaders in the top tier at the moment, but I love the utility placement, in particular the smokes. Really curious to me actually to see Michael the last one to actually die in the A bomb site position in pit. That's normally the position of strength from a CT defender's perspective, but they did such a good job of taking away his teammates that he had no support in that manner. You can see FaZe are on eco this round, and whilst they've done their best to perhaps pressure the Banana, a choke point that we spoke already about this match, it's not going to work out for them.
No, there's going to be way too many rifles involved in this Banana take, and there's still one member, AZ, at the top of Banana, who will just cheekily poke his head out, fire a couple of bullets, and fall back into B. But he's going to push out once again. He's basically just trying to spot for information there and potentially see if there's a free gun in Banana that's been available to them. But Astralis do a great job of defending that one and just rolling into B.
Yeah, this is round in the bag. This is a really impressive start from Astralis. Whilst normally you wouldn't be saying and reaping the praises and whatnot of a team leading 5-0 in a match, when you start out on T-side Inferno, it's a completely different ballpark. This is a map in which probably is the most unbalanced in terms of the pool at the moment, where it's very CT-sided. Especially when you've got 2 teams that are, I guess, equally matched in that regard. So the fact that Astralis has started off so strong on a side in which terrorist rounds are a premium, this is great for them.
Absolutely. They had such a strong pistol round, and then their first gun round was flawless in terms of the execution. So For me, FaZe, I picked them to win. I thought they'd show really well, but all they've done so far is really lose pistol in a very close manner as well. So they were very competitive in the pistol round, and also quite competitive in that gun round, but Astralis just a little too good. And as you said, such a premium on those T rounds. All of a sudden, Astralis race out to a 5-0 lead, and FaZe, without having done anything particularly wrong, have found themselves horribly positioned on the scoreboard.
And they're actually playing really, really disciplined at the moment. You even saw then as an example, as Astralis knew the bomb was exploding, 4 surviving members. They weren't hunting the frag, there was no need. They exited as one down the banana just in time for that bomb to explode without them taking damage. This is a team that has come to play in this match. They recognise the importance that we spoke about, and they're here delivering right now. Well,
I guess for them, the real battle is making sure they come out in that top position and avoid playing Fnatic and Na'Vi as late as possible in the tournament, as we spoke about earlier. So they're putting their best foot forward here, as now we see FaZe attempting to take control of this banana area of the map, which is good to see. But look at the patience here from Device being boosted up over the smoke, and he should be able to take one down. Lovely shot onto AZ there, but predictable play there clearly from FaZe. Device more than ready for that attempted push on banana, and now that's left Jacob all by himself. But the pressure is decent here from FaZe as well, so whilst they are a man down, they do have a good idea of where the T's can be across the map, and I guess it's now in the hands of Astralis to make their move and show us what they have got again on an execute.
At the moment, they're just biding their time. They've recognised they've already got that opening frag, and perhaps just trying to see if the CTs will get a little bit antsy and push unnecessarily. You can see at the moment, though, that's not the case for Dupree. Perhaps the entry fragger of the team will have to make something work for them. Jacob there actually pushed back, does spot out at least one at the bottom of banana, but he's not certain how many are coming, so as he flashes and re-peeks, perhaps thinks better of it as he does fall back to the side. I like this. The rotation's now coming in, but will it get there in time as Rain races to B?
And Jacob seeing one, but not really understanding how much danger was left there for him, but he dribbles up. Carrigan Device, Cajun B going down. Can he get the last one? No, Zipnix will still get to banana, but interestingly enough there, Zipnix grabbed the bomb and will escape back towards the A site. Dupree, it's all going to be on him to deliver this entry kill onto Makalele. I believe it is inside. Yes, there he is, hiding behind the close box to the Diggity side of things. Of course, that's the hut side, but it won't be checked there. Zipnix not expecting Makalele to be inside. 10 seconds to go. This is a big moment here. Dupree gets the first one, but he needs to get that second one. Rain firing out that gun, and it will be enough to scare the terrorist Dupree away from planting. So FaZe pick up their first round, but it costs them a whole lot of money, and just as close as you can possibly get to losing that round.
That's exactly right. They're one with one member left alive, and you've got to hear AZ binder for Mass. He's almost asking himself, do we even win the last round? Because from his perspective, he's got inferior weaponry. They now only have actually 4 members there who only have body armor. They don't have kits apart from Fox, so really they're up against it, and it's so important as they try and just establish themselves in this half that they can win this second round now and consolidate the situation.
Yeah, beautiful play by Jacob there anyway at the start of Banana opening up. But before that triple kill, I really like the fact that once he spotted the first terrorist, he didn't try and get the kill, because he had no idea what was coming in behind the first player that he spotted. So after he saw the first one, it was the flashbang, it was the smoke grenade that went down at the top of Banana, and that really allowed him to get that triple. But at the moment, Astralis looking, just feeling their way through the map and trying to get a kill, but FaZe giving them nothing right now.
Yeah, this is what we were expecting, wasn't it, when we said their hybrid play? Because from Astralis' perspective here, they're going off on their own, they're trying to take that map control, but we've seen that as the time runs low, they have that ability to execute with the smokes and flashes onto site. So much, I guess, strength and whatnot to rely on for this Danish team. And at the moment, I think they're just trying to scare those B members away with a few smoke grenades, but it will be the A side, perhaps, that is the target of their aggression now.
Yeah, but because of the banana control they took earlier, you can see the 2 players from FaZe still locked into that B hold. There's only going to be 3 members here to defend this A push against all 5 members of Astralis if they make their way through here eventually. But they're going to run out of time as Device finds Makalele through the hood of the truck there. And he'll go down, but it'll be an A execution here from Astralis. Cajun B wrapping at a very quick pace there. We'll find Fox completely off guard, and Rain will now try and get one, but Carrigan takes him down to Pre onto AZ, and now Jacob holds the scoreboard open and wonders what the hell just happened to his teammates.
That is supreme teamwork right there as they executed flawlessly onto that site. The key for me in that instance, much like their previous A take, was their ability to use those smokes in particular to lock off the jungle side of mid, or the CT arch side perhaps as some people might refer to it. So they blocked off Fox's vision. In the end, they're actually able to get around very close towards the library, and in the end, there was just too much pressure for the CTs to handle. You could see that play in the side. It might have been Makelele, almost forced to try and swivel on a dime and fight off multiple battles at once. Couldn't quite do so. Great timing on that execution.
Yeah, and we saw Makelele speaking about how before Roban, they were just a bunch of headless chickens running around a field trying to make things work for them, and I almost feel as though that approach would be better served against Astralis. At the moment, FaZe, I think, are trying to play too conventional of a game, and Astralis are just picking them to pieces, literally going through the bomb site choke point by choke point and just narrowing down the spots where FaZe can be. And after that point, their utility use is excellent. They've got great smokes, and particularly in those the CT arch side of things has been fantastic. And for me, FaZe need to get random. They need to get in the faces of Astralis and stop them from the level of control they're exhibiting across the map.
How do you get random, though? What does that mean if you try and explain that to somebody? How do you all of a sudden get random?
Well, you need to, I guess, think of something out of the box, something that's not conventional. Push a choke point by yourself, run through a smoke with a flash, and use teamwork and individual skill, but in a way that's very unexpected, as we see FaZe trying to hold on to this B bomb site, and actually AZ gets a kill, but it'll be to no avail here as Astralis take control of that B bomb site. But it is a 4 versus 3, and Zygnix is only on 4 points of health, so some interest still lingering in this round for Astralis, and FaZe could potentially win this one if they get things to go their way, but the bomb's just ticking down, and every second that gets taken off the timer is a real shame for them. But at the moment, they're all going to go down, and I'm not sure if there's a kit amongst them, but Device is left in a 3 versus 1, and he's going to pick up an AK and try and make this one work, but it looks as though the defuse is going to come in. Can he get there? Terrorists do win, but
that was close though, dear me.
It had to have been close. Rain was on the full defuse there of 10 seconds, and it can only have been a max of 1 second off there. So, get out of jail free card played there by Device.
I think just a lapse in concentration in that instance there for Astralis. I mean, they got into the site, they had the man advantage. It's the B bomb site, probably the hardest site in the game to retake from a CT perspective, but they were caught off guard by 3 CT players with pistols.
Well, I think the fact that FaZe, in previous rounds where they were on Eco, have actually opted to save their pistols. So perhaps Astralis thinking that the pistols are going to be saved instead, and just not concentrating properly there. Now Carrigan switched right back on as Zygnix, Device, and himself cream the FaZe lineup, and there's only one member left. It's AZ. He's in Banana, and Device says, "Enough out of you, son. You go down," and that will be the 8th terrorist round for FaZe, and straight away Fox gets that AWP in his hands.
And the really, really worrying thing for me here from a FaZe perspective is that if you look at the frag count, everyone at the moment is contributing from the Astralis side. It's not as though one player is just having this magical half that is somehow carrying his team through to these normally incredibly difficult terrorist rounds to come by. It's every single player at the moment stepping up to Pre, Carrigan, Device. They're all fragging. Yep. Every member is, I guess, productive at the moment, and that's really worrying for a team that prides itself on their ability to win those duels. Yeah, but look at the push here from FaZe. They're wanting to take control of this A-Halls area, and 3 of them just grouped up, ready to fight against Astralis, and this is going to be a pretty epic turnaround. Dupree picks up a double before AZ's able to chime in with a double of his own. Fox picking up an AWP kill, and that's how you get random. You stack 3 people in the A-Hall side of things for FaZe, and unfortunately there, Fox not able to connect on his AWP shot there, and now it'll be a 2 versus 2. Fox and Jacob versus Device and Cajun B. That's right, the bomb has now been planted. Cajun actually positioning himself in the side and gets caught on the lip there of the box, but does now jump over. So they do have that crossfire going. What can crucially Device do? As that AWP does spot out over the truck, gets the first. Very suspicious of a second as well, suspecting the CTs would have grouped up in that instance. Great play, but oh my goodness, he actually quick changed at the last second there, and it meant that he couldn't get the shot off, but as Fox moves in, they now know where he is, and they do swarm on him. Great play there from Device, getting the 3 kill for the rounds. Astralis closing out what was another close round. Another round potentially going begging for FaZe. They just can't get over that hump at the moment.
I like that way better from FaZe, though. At least they took the fight to Astralis and had that gun battle where it could have gone either way. Previously, it just looked as though a clock was counting down till Astralis won the round.
And what I'd point out, actually, is that setup is normally really effective from a CT side. I think it was the fact that Dupree actually crouched as he came around the corner there at the bottom of apartments. That meant he was out of sight there for the two CTs who was stacked, waiting for that headline to show. But as it was, Dupree, great game sense, and Astralis capitalising now in this eco round here for FaZe.
Yeah, and this is all just unraveling pretty quickly here for FaZe. They're down 9-1, about to be 10-1. Fox trapped in the boiler room there, staring at the chicken, wondering where this game and this round has gone. But it has gone the way of Astralis so far, 10-1. And, I mean, you'd hate to ever say that... you hate to ever say that you were wrong, but all of a sudden my prediction of 16-12 to FaZe is looking less and less likely as we go along.
And as much pleasure as I derive from the fact that you're now looking very red-faced given the scoreline, I'm actually more impressed, more so than the fact that Astralis are winning, by the manner in which they're playing Counter-Strike right now. This is fantastic top-level Counter-Strike. The unison and the teamwork that we're seeing that they're exhibiting on their terrorist side is so impressive to watch. The timing, the nade placement, everything is on point. We've only seen one little lapse in concentration at that B-bomb side in that afterplane situation. But apart from that, maybe 10-second burst, they have been on point all game, and this is great to watch.
Not only that, but their momentary lapse in concentration was bailed out by the fact that they have such talent on their team. Device was left to pick up that triple kill and win the round for them anyway. So the lapse in concentration didn't even cost them a round as Fox makes his AWP known. But look at this positioning here from Device. He's getting aggressive and he's going to put that pressure on the B side of things as all of his teammates make their way towards A. And you can see, look at that Molotov coming down underneath that hut. And now Jacob will be left in a pretty difficult position, and so will Rain, having to fall back. And look at this battle here through the smoke between Jacob and Device. Device rattles off a couple of Tech 9 bullets and actually nails Jacob down to 56, but Fox should be able to find one here, and he does find that one there, as does Jacob onto Device. So finally, FaZe picking up some momentum in this round.
That's right, and with the frags going down at each side at the moment, I think it's left Astralis in a position where they're not sure which choke point to attach, but I think they will now, as Tajan has got that frag onto Jacob, opening up that B-bomb site. So Zipnik's on the lurk. Great use of smoke. They're actually dancing around with fleet feet. I don't even know what the words are. But in any case,
fleet footing.
That would be the one. He got a headshot though nonetheless, so good work in that instance. But fantastic work. They've turned this around. They have got that bomb down. You can see AZ now coming in for the retake. He's waiting for his teammate, but at the moment he feels as though he needs to do it himself with that time ticking down quite slow. So the teamwork that we spoke about from a T perspective, not quite here yet for the CTs. Rain finds himself in a 1 versus 2, taps the bomb, but Zipnik's there with the supreme time and catches him off guard as he didn't have time yet to turn around. Yep, winning the round there.
Zipnik's, for those of you who don't know, is a beastly 1 versus 1 player. I think coming into this tournament, he'd won 12 of his last 13 1 versus 1 clutches. He won one last game, which puts him at 13 out of 14, and just won that one there. So he's won 14 out of his last 15 1 versus 1s at a top tier of competition, and that clearly doesn't go unnoticed by the team. And we spoke about his increase in his productivity as finally Rain decides to go aggressive and he'll push through the smoke. This is how you get random, but Cajun B picks up a double onto Rain and AZ. So that random play not being rewarded at all by the Astralis members. And whilst the bomb will go down, the round that looked so incredible there. Look at this double Molotov here coming out, and Zipnik's and Device will find Jacob and Makalele, and FaZe, I can safely say, is being systematically dismantled by Astralis right now.
What can you do in that instance? From a Rain point of view, you've actually just managed to run the gauntlet, got through the smoke, the door is wide open, and Cajun slams it shut, turning around with 2 sick 1Vs to the face there at close range. And I mean, I love the play. That's a play that would catch most teams off guard, but Astralis at the moment, that round just goes to show that, to me, that their communication is on point.
Well, I think
Cajun B recognising they needed to turn around, that information had been fed to him, and he wrecked their heads.
Well, this was, for us, one of the matchups of this group to really watch, because these two teams going head-to-head was quite an exciting prospect, and I'm actually not disappointed at all with FaZe, and that's very difficult for me to say given they're 12-1 down on CT side. I'm blown away by the brilliance of Astralis here. There are so many games that we watch where one team just lets themselves down and beats themselves more or less, and the other team just has to turn up. but in this case, Astralis is just putting on a flawless display of Counter-Strike, and I kind of feel for the FaZe guys at the moment.
That's right, they're certainly up against a team that is looking really strong at the moment. They brought everything they can into this round, Team FaZe, but it's meant that Rain has to deal with the pistol. Perhaps the rest of the teammates not as much, or not much better equipped themselves, as you can see. I think one for Mass, 2 Swag 7s, and an M4 in the hands of Fox. Perhaps he would have been better off sharing that with some of his teammates, perhaps given their strong individual pedigree with such rifles. But as they make their way towards B, see Michael backs off into the side. All of a sudden, he himself has no information about what's going on in Banana. And you can see that Terra's actually not yet committed to the B side.
Yeah, but I guess the timing of that Molotov with the flash forced Makalele out of his hiding hole, and now he's got really no idea of what's going on in Banana. It will be a close push here from Astralis, and will the CT be able to hold up? Makalele gets the first one. He needs at least one more from that position. Carrigan trades out, but there's another CT lying in wait. It's AZ, but unfortunately there, he's not able to make that first kill work for him. He does take down the bomb plan to Carrigan, though, and buys his team some crucial time. Device making his way into that bomb site with his fellow teammate Dupree, and now I guess it looks as though Astralis is still in the box seat to win this one as they set up a crossfire at the back left and back right of the B bomb site. And look at Device picking out, and he probably will spot one coming through CT. What a shot there onto Rain. He will double up there onto Jacob. Dupree finishes it all off, and as I said, that was destined to fail there for FaZe. Once that's set up and the bomb plan had gone down, other than have I guess a wide array of grenades to force them out, which they definitely didn't have due to the force spy, that was always going to be difficult there to dislodge the terrorist hold.
This is fantastic to watch. Astralis now moving into the last round, 13-1 up on the terrorist side of Inferno. Who would have believed it? But FaZe at the moment getting completely outclassed, and this is totally a reflection of the level that Astralis are playing at, like he did say. It's been supreme and fantastic to watch at the moment. KGB heading up towards Banana. They've had so much success at all of the choke points. Again, that's an example of the Molotov that we saw last round. This time, Jacob being on the other side of it, he's now trapped and almost committed to the fight right now. And Astralis know that. You can see them lobbing those grenades towards the sandbags. Again, trying to inflict more damage if there was a player there. And they now take the fight. Jacob, for good cause, has managed to find one, and great flash coming out from his teammate there allows him to get a second. But as Carrigan swoops onto A, all of a sudden 4 terrorist frags go down, and the great work from Jacob there is completely undone by the fact that his teammate is now in a 1-on-2.
Yeah, I'm unable to follow how much action is going in there. All I know is Device picked up a double, Carrigan picked up a double in the space of about 5 seconds. And look at that Molotov, the awareness, the anticipation of Device. Look at the position of Carrigan so far towards the A side in CT spawn that he had to have known that Makalele, by process of elimination, was coming through Banana, and that Molotov just confirms that. But look at this plant for Makalele. Look at where the bomb has gone down, and he must have taken one look at that bomb plan and thought to himself, well, this is going to be a pretty hard task because there are an infinite number of angles, and Carrigan only needs one. He pops out as soon as the bomb's tapped. He picks up that headshot. 14-1 Astralis, and that is an absolute masterclass of how to play T-Side Inferno. For all of the young aspiring teams out there who want to work out the intricacies of Inferno, download that demo, have a watch, because that was absolute perfection from Astralis.
And there's so many things that you'd point at to, I guess, tips for young players when you're watching that. I mean, obviously, some of those A executes, there was the utility placement and whatnot. But the most impressive thing in its entirety for me was actually the timing. I love the way that every player clearly knew what their 4 teammates were doing. They knew when they needed to step, what angles were getting covered. They moved as one, and they looked like a complete outfit. That was fantastic to watch.
Definitely, and I guess it really speaks volumes when they were in so many, I guess, player deficits where FaZe had picked up a couple of kills early, and the fact that Astralis were able to win so many of those rounds just proves it was all about the positioning and the timing of the strategy. Now, Zipnix will be left to defend this B side, but he's taken an instant headshot there as Carrigan throws down that smoke, but the terrorists won't mind so much. They'll push straight through. Carrigan gets one and goes down, but Jacob and AZ able to get those kills early on to the Astralis players, and now KGB quick on the rotate, but will it be quick enough? I'm not so sure, as he gets one, and as does Device now. As quickly as this was in the favor of FaZe, it has gone to the favor of Astralis by the looks of things, but AZ there on top of that boost, but ultimately he's given away the location of both the terrorists, so KGB and Device just waiting and wondering when the push will come out. KGB picking up one, and it will be a tough ask for Device to finish this one off. AZ able to take it out, so FaZe not done yet, and a long way to go, but nice pistol around there, forcing the action at B.
But the fact that that even came down to a 1 versus 1, that was a 4-on-2 at one point from a terrorist perspective. And I mean, questionable decision for me to see Rain there pushing through the smoke into Banana. Cajun punishing him in that instance, and it came down to AZ had to win a 1 versus 2, but he got the headshots, did what he needed to do. Great work here by him in that round. And FaZe now have a new lease on life, at least for this round, as they find themselves with 4 UMPs. Weapon of choice of Freiburg.
Definitely. 4 UMPs and a P90, so they're under the impression that it's a full eco coming in here for Astralis, and they're going to keep their economy going in order to win this one as soon as possible. But Jacob finds a kill, but goes down to 1 HP himself, so not everything going the way of FaZe just yet. Zipnik's able to pick up a kill and also a UMP, getting some suppressive fire down through that smoke. Look at this push here from Zipnik. He's picked up one. Can he get a second one? He will. He'll catch AZ off guard, and now all of a sudden it's a 3 versus 2, and Jacob's only on 1 HP, and he's at the bottom of Banana. So this could go horribly pear-shaped here for FaZe. The only redeeming factor is the fact that there's no defusal kits on Astralis. But all the pressure coming on here, it will be Jacob going down, and whilst Zipnik picks up the last kill, will he get on the defuse?
I think there's time. He's got it.
He will. He'll get the defuse, and 15th round to FaZe. Individual brilliance there by Zipnik. Absolutely incredible, intuitive play. I guess when you see a group of players playing at this level, it makes you happy as a Counter-Strike fan, because this is what we want to see at tournaments like this. We want to see the best teams in the world playing at the highest possible standard, and that's exactly what we're seeing from Astralis right now.
Most certainly, they now find themselves with 13 match point, and Zipnik, you can tell what his intent is he does push down that mid in that instance, and whilst he has got one by, I think, the fact that Cajun had traded his early damage, it is actually FaZe finding a way to make this work. They're not willing to give up just yet, so perhaps, at least for one more round, the FaZe stream will live on. But you just can't help but feel it is a matter of time. Maybe Astralis, they're pushing the envelope a little bit too much. Charging down mid is bold, to say the least. I
mean, when you get 14 rounds on Terra's side, I guess you're able to be afforded the luxury of...
Attack pause beat. 15-3 down, is it really?
CS died.
Okay, I was going to say.
Tactical pause, well... Astralis well within their rights to use that tactical pause if they felt it's necessary. You just hope, I guess, from their standpoint, that they would be able to cruise home at this point without thinking too much more about it, being on the CT side of things, of course. But we've talked about the masterclass here from Astralis, and there'll be plenty of opportunity for them to utilize the functionality on Plays TV, where you can upload your own clips and get all the action on your social media and onto Reddit and all that sort of stuff. So it's a fantastic service, and obviously Astralis will... People around the world will be using it on behalf of Astralis.
Now let's not forget, I also want to reiterate here that FaZe, I mean, they're not out of this competition yet. They still have Virtus Pro to play, and we know that potentially, if there's a tie, round difference comes into effect here. So you can see at the moment, FaZe, they're still desperate to get as many rounds on the board as possible, and the fact that Astralis are on eco this round should... Given the fact that they're up against it in terms of weaponry, there should be another round going for FaZe, and they're obviously not going to die out just yet. They're playing for all they're worth at the moment. Rain has got that first frag, but Zipnik's at close range. We know the damage he can do on these eco rounds, but AZ restores some order to this round, and now they find themselves in a 4-on-3 with that bomb going down. This should be easy from here on out.
It should be, but Cajun B picks up a kill on Makaleli, and for me, I'm just surprised at how often FaZe have been caught off guard by the Astralis players. And for me, that speaks volumes to the timing of the Astralis players right now, picking the perfect opportunity to know when and how to get those kills, which is obviously a very important part. But look, Astralis looking in fantastic form. The round will go to FaZe, but as you said, it's probably just a matter of time before this one goes into the history books.
I think this is probably the best Counter-Strike they've actually had the opportunity to witness so far of the 2 days of IEM Katowice. We've obviously had the privilege of watching a lot of different teams. There were 6 teams on day 1, 6 teams now.
Yep.
This is the highest level that I've seen the team play out. Now, obviously, the matchup itself, we're not saying that FaZe are the toughest opposition or whatnot, but the level that Astralis are playing at now would almost translate with the same effect, or at least there or thereabouts, against any other top-tier opposition at the moment. That's the level that they're playing at.
And I guess the real question mark for them is, can they do it in the last couple of days of the tournament.
Correct.
Because they've been able to do it at this level, at this stage of a tournament, for their entirety of their careers. Well, almost the entirety, dating back to, obviously, TSM, now into Astralis. But they've been capable of this sort of play for a long time. It's them really needing to switch on at the back end of a tournament to get the win or the very high placing, as once again we see the FaZe guys opening up with a couple of kills there onto, I believe it was KGB and Carrigan going down, as well as Dupree also finds his demise at the hands of Jacob before Device is able to find a cheeky deagle kill there in mid.
Yeah, Astralis just on eco though, so I think they're just playing the patient game, recognising that they're going to just wait for the opportunity to make sure that they can fully invest in the rifles and AWP for devices, it turns out. You can see also utility across the board, head armour, so they've got everything that they could possibly ask for, bar a few kits.
And it's interesting for me, Device has always been known as a complete player, or a hybrid player between that AWP and the rifle, but he's been favouring that AWP a lot, and he looks the goods at the moment in terms of his positioning, his timing, his impact with that AWP. So this bodes very well for the Astralis team moving forward. But at the moment, it'll be Rain trying to take control of the banana side of the map for FaZe. And once again, Device opens up that kill onto Fox. So now a real uphill battle will begin for FaZe, trying to stay in this match at 15-5 and being down 1 kill at the moment. And now they're going to pick up that bomb from Spawn and I guess make their way back towards B by the looks of things. And yeah, will be a B execute coming in here for FaZe to try and hold on to this round and also the match.
Now, FaZe actually have a few utility grenades to support them in this instance. They've got, I think, 2 Molotovs, 3 smokes across the board, so they do have what they require, but they are down in man. But crucially, this is probably the best site. They now find themselves in a 4 versus 2 at this bomb site. So good news there of the Molotov from the CT. So they've slowed the attack. Michael goes down in a ball of flames, and all of a sudden there's only 3 remaining terrorists here. They're moving on to B, Pete, but unfortunately for them, it's not quite working out. Jacob has taken down Zipnix, and whilst Rain does get 1, maybe this is something they now do need. It is a 2-on-3. Dupree inflicting some damage, but the bomb will now get planted. Yeah,
Dupree actually taking a lot of damage there from Jacob pushing in as well, but it is a 3 versus 2 nonetheless, and I guess both of the terrorist positions are relatively known to Astralis. They're going to make their way in at the moment, and it'll be Rain picking up Dupree, so it's not all over yet as Jacob does go down. KGB will pick up Rain as well. The GGWPs come out. It will be Astralis picking this one up 16-5. And as we said, just a absolute